Lagos, Nigeria's economic, arts, and cultural nerve center, is a city like no other. Its journey from a small colonial settlement to one of Africa's most dynamic metropolises is a story of resilience, ambition, and transformation. As historian John Smith aptly described it in The History of Lagos, 1987, Lagos is not just a city, it is a living chronicle of Nigeria's evolution. This documentary delves into the key moments that shaped Lagos' past and defined its future. In 1861, Lagos became a British colony through the Treaty of Cession, signed by Oba Dosunmu. According to the Lagos Colony, a historical analysis by Adebanjo Williams, this moment marked the beginning of organized governance in Lagos, laying the foundation for its role as a hub for commerce and administration. Early infrastructure projects like Carter Bridge and the Lagos Marina transformed the city into a strategic port. The influence of Christian missionaries during the colonial period must not be overstated. In Missionary Education in Nigeria, A Legacy of Change, historian Funke Adesina highlights how schools like CMS Grammar School, established in 1859, became incubators for new elite class of Nigerian leaders. These institutions introduced Western education, shaping a generation that would later lead the fight for independence. The colonial period also witnessed the rise of anti-colonial sentiments. Abba Macaulay, often referred to as the father of Nigerian nationalism, famously declared, "The dimensions of our freedom cannot be dictated by foreign interests." His advocacy, along with the rise of the nationalist newspaper like the Lagos Daily News, galvanized public opinion and laid the groundwork for self-rule. October 1st, 1960, remains etched in the memory of every Nigerian. Tafawa Balewa Square was the stage where Sir Abubakar Tafawa Balewa declared, "This is the day we have dreamed of, the day we take our rightful place among the free nations." Lagos, as the federal capital, was at the center of this celebration, symbolizing the dawn of a new era. In 1967, Lagos State was created, with Mobolaji Johnson becoming its first governor. His administration championed projects that laid the groundwork for modern Lagos. As noted in Building the Megacity, Lagos in Translation by Akinyemi Oladele, Johnson's leadership brought about unprecedented urban development, from housing estates to improved road networks. The late 20th century saw Lagos grappling with rapid urbanization. The Third Mainland Bridge, completed in 1990, was hailed as a feat of engineering that connected disparate parts of the city. In recent years, projects like the Bus Rapid Transit System and Eco Atlantic City represent efforts to address urban challenges. As architect Kunle Adeyemi remarked in Urban Lagos, Adapting to Growth, Lagos is not just expanding, it is reimagining itself. However, the city's growth has come at a cost. Issues like traffic congestion, overpopulation, and environmental degradation loom large. Governor Babatunde Fashola once noted, "Our greatest challenge is not the size of our population, but the pace of our planning." Solutions remain a critical focus for Lagos leaders. However, we had the privilege of speaking with key figures who hold deep knowledge of Lagos history. Among them is Sir Ogunshakin, a distinguished graduate of History and Political Science from Obafemi Awolowo University, who shared valuable insights about the rich heritage of Lagos. We asked several thought-provoking questions, including how Lagos played a pivotal role in Nigeria's struggle for independence. We also invited him to shed light on the key figures who emerged during this historic period, offering a deeper understanding of the city's significance in shaping the nation's history.
As we are all clear, Lagos happens to be the political epicenter in Lagos, in Nigeria. The annexation of Lagos was in 1861 by the colonial masters, and Nigeria was amalgamated. Before amalgamation, Lagos happens to be the capital of Southern Protectorates, they administered by colonial masters, but without the emergence of what is it called, the constitutional era. The era that we refer to as a constitutional era, where we had the mass passing constitution, literature constitution, and other constitutions like that. But in 1914, Nigeria was amalgamated Southern Protectorate and Northern Protectorate. So that was when politics started taking effect. The struggle for independence, how we can manage ourselves, how we can manage Nigeria politically. So there was emergence of various political parties, not political parties, interest groups at that time. So that is when we have Nigeria Youth Movement, NYN, led by Dr. Right. And that wasn't any clear distinction between those people that are struggling for Nigeria independence. At that point in that, we all belong to the same campus of events. So, and it was after when they believed and they realized that their interest wasn't at par with each other. They were not people of like minds then. We have Pastor Macaulay taking the center stage. Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe was there. Nnamdi Azikiwe is an Easterner, but he resides in Lagos. Most of his political activities took place in Lagos. That point in mind. So, Chief Obafemi Awolowo is a Westerner. He's from Ikene in the States. But the majority of these people reside in Lagos. The Lagos being the epic center, the economic center, here we have the port and some other activities going on. A lot of people prefer coming to Lagos to fend for a job, to look for a job, rather than stay in their various communities because there was any activities that will make life meaningful to them. Though it is very easy to get employment in Lagos than getting accommodation because accommodation is very scarce. Lagos at that point, based on urbanization, a lot of people are coming in, and there is no clear or distinct provision of housing at that point in time. So we will soon come to that at another level. So the ports we have the ports. The most busiest port in Africa happens to be Lagos port. Most of the imports and exports are taking place in Lagos. And then there wasn't anything like Cotonou ports. Cotonou port. There was no port there was a port in Ghana. And there was a moribund. It was after the establishment of Lagos port. That was when we have Port Harcourt port. Because every activities took place in Lagos and even is still taking place in Lagos as we speak now. Though we have another nation capital in Abuja, but activities in Abuja wasn't as much as that of Lagos. Don't let me deviate from the Big Western. During the period of politician, of struggle for independence in Nigeria, everything sends out of Lagos. You have youth movement. It got to a stage, the establishment of political parties started taking place. We have an action group of Nigeria, which was formed by Chief Obafemi Awolowo. When you follow the history, it was not established in Lagos. It was established somewhere in our world. So, and where we have activities then, how we can face the colonial masters. The colonial masters reside in Lagos. They have district offices in all the regions, like they have in Ibadan. They have in Ogun State. Now those are the district offices, and the capital is in Lagos. And whatever there is going to be any meeting, it has to take place in Lagos. So, NCNC established by about Macaulay, and Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe. So those are the two major political parties in Lagos at that point in time. Then we have NPC, Nigeria, Northern People's Congress. It's in the northern part of Nigeria. And there are some other political parties that have their leads in various districts and provinces in Nigeria, like Alamy, Port Harcourt, and what are they? So those are the two major political parties that have their roots in Lagos at that point in time. The National Youth Movement, the Action Group of Nigeria, the NCNC. We believe that NCNC, National Convention for Nigeria and the Tabaroos, that is the two names of NCNC. It has its base in the eastern part of Nigeria, like Enugu, because it was the creation of Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe was in fact. So, and the notable people that were produced during this period, like Chief Obafemi, Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe, were April Davis, Ate Sawyer, Anthony Enamuru, host of others.
We also spoke with Mr. Kolade, a seasoned counselor and United Nations official. Drawing from his wealth of experience, he provided valuable insights into the advancements that have taken place in Lagos and how they will shape its future, shedding light on key issues that are pivotal to the city's growth and development.
What recent achievement do you believe will define the future of Lagos and the next decade?
Okay. For the next decade, two things. I believe it's technology primarily, and I believe it's in his ability for Lagos to I think technology basically. Lagos is already putting that now. Lagos is already thinking transportation in the context of decongesting road transport, and they're using the rail line, they're using the fast track, they're using that technology will help. Number two, I think the other technology is to have, and Lagos is doing that already with the LASRAB, where every citizen in Lagos, everybody living in Lagos has some form of identification. That will help the government plan better for healthcare, plan better for basic amenities that people would need to make the city a more livable state that can compete with cities of its kind across the globe. So I think the solution to that first is technology. There must be a way to document the people that are in the city, so that crime can be curbed significantly. Then, of course, there must be a way for people to transport and traverse easily. Then another thing that I think if Lagos can harness it, that would also make both his nightlife and everything that Lagos had to give, and it becomes premium, is that Lagos will significantly have to change its power. And I'm glad that the top national has given power to sub-nationals now to generate their own power. So we are hoping that in the next decade, Lagos will be able to generate its own power, do a lot more, and make the economy and the life of people a lot more livable for now. And I think it will impact in the next couple of things. You're welcome. Yes.
We also spoke with Mr. Ojo Oguntayo Lushola, the Director of Archives at LASRAB. He provided deep insights into Lagos history, preservation efforts, and the city's most defining moments.
When you look at the history of Lagos, we have many publications on history of Lagos in our reference library. I can lay my hands on like 5. And when you look at these publications, one thing that is very common is that Lagos is a place where the early merchants, because of the location, because of the water, the Portuguese, they came and started trading with Lagosians, and because of that, the Benis, they also came. So that's why they usually say that Lagos was founded by Benin, Lagos was founded by Ogunfunminori and so on. That's why the history is not fully established. That's why there are a lot of decent voices on the origin of Lagos. So all these people used to come from hinterland, from other Yoruba states, from Benin, even from Sierra Leone and so on. They started maybe coming to Lagos to trade, and as a result, even after the World War, after the slaves were allowed to go to their different society, maybe states or maybe home, most of these people they didn't go to their area. So most of them, they prefer to stay in Lagos. So that's why you have this. You have Akimbo Savage. We have Saparas. We have Sasores and so on. All these people, some of them they are Sierra Leonean returnees. So Lagos is a place where if you are there, you know, like if you are not careful, you not like to go back to your place. So you like Lagos is home to every nationalities. So it's quite different from other states. That's very key. And you know the water is another advantage Lagos had over other states. So if at all you take Lagos, even you take the capital to Abuja, you can't take water to Abuja. Lagos state or Lagos as it is will remain maybe a central point, an epicenter of politics and economy. So there's no way, if at all you want to do any politics now, it's likely that you are going to start from Lagos. Lagos is going to breed you even before you go to your town and city or your state to say I want to be a governor. I want to be. Look at all our politicians. Most of them they started from Lagos. Lagos start maybe look as a training ground for most politicians. Even economically, most people will start from Lagos, then they now move to their and then maybe started booming in their state. So Lagos is a grant that allows for maybe for let me say for acquisition of knowledge. When you come to Lagos, you are going to learn so many things. A lot of opportunities abound in Lagos.
We had the opportunity to speak with Dr. Gbolahan Ali Balogun, whose grandparents were noticeable figures in the history of Lagos. We asked him about the role Fela played in the Lagos history.
Fela is a person that I will describe as a diasporan Lagosian. Diasporan Lagosian because for Fela in the strictest term is not a Lagosian, but Fela is of Lagos. Practically everything Fela achieved, particularly from his music, his activism, and his worldwide recognition. All those things he picked from Lagos, or he attained it from Lagos. So Fela had always been of Lagos, in contradistinction from saying he's a Lagosian. He's not. He's very proud of his heritage. In fact, some of his songs, he used the Egba intonation, the Egba dialect, to sing some of his songs. So he is not afraid to say he's not from Lagos, because it's not. I mean, it's from somewhere else. And he happens to also come from a distinguished family. So, but having said that, what role has Fela played in the development of Lagos? His major strength, Fela's major strength, is in his music and his activism. Fela brought to our recognition, particularly people in my age group, Fela brought into our recognition his tenets on activism, on democracy, and all the societal ills he tried to fight, which we also picked up from him, and if you listen to some of his songs, all the issues that he raised in those songs are still relevant today. They are still germane today. So if you ask me what role Fela has played, he has succeeded majorly in creating consciousness and awareness in his reflexes on seeing a better society, in his reflexes in seeing governance being done at the highest level. He schooled in England, so he came across certain principles, and his journey in life also afforded him an opportunity to also develop certain sensibilities, which he brought to bear both in his music and in societal life. I think he contributed majorly in creating consciousness and awareness. That is where I will place him.
We also asked him what were some of the primary currencies used in Lagos in the pre-colonial era.
In the pre-colonial era, it was trade by barter. In the pre-colonial era, before the advent of paper money, it was trade by barter. Then subsequently, it ended up with using cowries. And then, of course, subsequently we had paper money and coins and all that. But before that, it was as usual as it was in every other place. It was trade by barter, which in normal parlance, no, not normal parlance, in economic parlance, we call it counter trade. But essentially, it was trade by barter, and then subsequently into cowries and then subsequently into paper money.
We asked him if he could describe Lagos in one word. What would it be?
Potpourri. In one word, potpourri. If I'm going to break that down, Lagos is a melting pot, a clash of civilizations, a clash of cultures, but much more importantly, through all these changes and clashes, we've succeeded in building a place where everybody has an equal opportunity. Everybody has an equal opportunity to progress, to attain success, regardless of where you are from, and regardless of your culture, regardless of your language. It's a place where you can really succeed if you try very hard, without anybody judging you on your ethnicity or your religion. Lagos is not interested in all those inanimate issues.
Lastly, we spoke with Dr. Kunle Hamilton, who gave us a comprehensive understanding of Lagos, highlighting its history, growth, and impact. What do you think makes Lagos unique compared to other cities in Nigeria?
Lagos is the most densely populated of all the 36 states in Nigeria, including the Federal Capital Territory. Lagos is unique by its culture, unique by its dense population, which also means that there are more people to sell goods and services to in Lagos. Lagos is the seat of media, journalism in Nigeria. Lagos is the seat of most financial businesses in Nigeria. All the big entertainers in Nigeria who have made Nigerian music what it is are mostly situated here in Lagos. Even those of them who were not born in the Southwest, because Lagos is where the money is. So many things make Lagos unique. The Eyo Festival, the Fante Carnival, and most recently, as recent as December 2024, Lagos has given birth to what is now called globally Getty December.
How was Lagos developed into Nigeria's economic center?
Oh, right. The history of Lagos is really sweet. Lagos was first declared Lagos formally in 1967 and then recognized by law as Lagos in 1968. And it remained the capital of Nigeria in two ways: financial capital of Nigeria and political capital of Nigeria up till 19 1776, when Abuja became the political capital of Nigeria. So because of the dense population and the rich history of Lagos, because Lagos was where foreign powers, especially the British colonial powers, moved into Nigeria. I mean, Nigeria was discovered more or less through Lagos. The Portuguese came and then the British took over. So early business and commerce took root in Lagos because of the seaports between the before the railways and the motorways started moving to other parts of Nigeria. So the earliest businesses, the richest businesses were all here in Lagos. All the banks, well, that would be too much of a spread. Most of the banks in Nigeria all started in Lagos before they started doing their branches across the rest of Nigeria. So trade, all the big multinationals took off in Lagos. The Levantes, the Kingways, the UAC, they all took root in Lagos, and that's why Lagos is the financial nerve center of Nigeria from back then till now.
What are the most significant milestones in Lagos history that has shaped its development?
There were cultural events, there were financial events, but when we look into the history of Lagos, the truth is that the first settlers in Lagos, first tribe to settle in Lagos and build their tribal existence were the Aworis. Now, the Aworis still occupy some parts of Lagos, and specifically, they are now more towards the Badagry side of Lagos than the Lagos Island, which used to be known as Lagos before the rest of the local governments were developed in Lagos and given their names. There were wars from the 16th, 17th centuries. There were wars for the control of Lagos. But I'd like to look at the contemporary history of Lagos from when the Portuguese presence in Lagos was taken over by the British presence in Lagos, and that effectively Lagos became Lagos in 1967, 68. So there were tribal tussles, there was the subservience to the British government, and then the independence of Nigeria came in 1960, but it still took 7 years before Lagos became recognized as capital for Nigeria. And all those things affected the metamorphosis, the molding of Lagos as we know it today.
What do you think are the biggest social, economic, or political issues Lagos faces today?
Today, I believe that the general issues of democracy not benefiting the ordinary Nigeria is primary in Lagos. Not because Lagos is not peaceful. Lagos is relatively peaceful. We don't have intertribal wars in Lagos as we have had it in some parts of the north of Nigeria. But democratic gains are yet to be fully enjoyed by Lagosians, even though the governor of Lagos State, not just the present one, but the predecessors, have constantly and gradually improved infrastructure in Lagos, improved access to trade. Railways have improved in Lagos with what the federal government has done. Lagos has invested heavily in marine transportation. Ferries, very modern ferries, are now available as recently as in the last couple of weeks. Light rail that travels overhead, ground rails that link Lagos to Abeokuta, to Ibadan, and all these things have made social fluidity enhanced. They have enhanced social gatherings. They have enhanced the entertainment segment. They have enhanced business, farm to road or farm to market access has improved. People can get their fish from Ikorodu and come and sell in any market in Lagos because the option of waterway travel is there. The option of roadway travel is there. The roads are getting better and better. These things have made Lagos more successful and more expensive because these services come at a premium. Electricity is more expensive in Lagos than in other parts of Nigeria for the obvious reason that everything is subject to the laws of demand and supply. Because of the excessive population per square meter in Lagos, the demand on facilities like pipe-borne water, road transport, rail transport, sea transport, electricity, the demand is high. As a result, supply is struggling to keep up with demand, so prices. So the most significant thing about Lagos, as beautiful as it is it's expensive.
How did NSAS protests in 2020 affect Lagos' social and political landscape?
The youths in Nigeria were galvanized into action by youths in Lagos for the NSAS. The NSAS was a direct response of an angry mob of youths to the excessive and blatant use of force and high corruption of the Nigerian police force. That was what NSAS, because SARS is a branch of the police. They were meant to deal with corruption. They became extremely corrupt themselves. So the youths moved and called it an end to the corruption of the police. But of course, it took wider dimensions. It was also that we were protesting the ineptitude of governance and the loudness of that violent protest, which was also violently rebuffed by the organs of state, is a watershed in the history of Lagos State and of Nigeria. A lot of police barracks and stations were burnt. I mean, after NSAS, for more than 3 weeks, you could not find any uniformed policeman in any corner of Lagos on any road. If they went to their offices, their police stations, they will go in muffed, come out in muffed, because the unleashing of anger on the police was serious at NSAS. So it affected the entire span of Lagos State. It also gave vent to street urchins and vagabonds who are drug users. They try to take advantage of the ordinary citizen of Lagos because the police just retreated immediately after NSAS. But that's not the only thing. There are major toll gate points where people pay to drive their cars and buses, like the Lekki toll gate, the Ikoyi Bridge, toll gate. Long after NSAS, government has not been able to reactivate those points to collect money from people. And that tells you how far the NSAS thing has changed the mindset of both the governed and those who govern us in Lagos State. So people are aware of the power they have, the power of protesting. Government is aware of it too. And that has, in a way, calmed down some of the excesses of government since ETSAS, the excesses of policemen since ETSAS in Lagos.
How have markets like Balogun and Oshodi contributed to the economic growth of Lagos?
Balogun Market, Oshodi Market, these are huge markets, but they are not the only major markets that have improved things in Lagos. The Mile 2 market is huge. The Mile 12 market is huge. Ojuwe market in Mushin is huge. But to speak directly to the significance of Balogun and Oshodi markets, and by extension, other major markets in Lagos, the truth is that the Lagos State government has been very responsive over the past few administrations in Lagos State to improve the sanity of Oshodi, Balogun, and other major markets in Lagos. By that I mean people feel a little safer patronizing those markets. There is Idumota market for electronics. There is Alaba market for electronics. There's one on the way to Badagry. If the name comes to me now, I'll mention it. Major markets that people travel from outside Lagos to patronize. So these are heavy money spinners. The taxes, the VAT taxes, the shop taxes, the road taxes that government in Lagos is making from those markets is huge. So these have impacted very much on the economy of Lagos. Anybody who has anything to sell would rather come and sell it in Lagos if they had their chance, because you can make more money, because the purchasing power in Lagos is higher. The number of buyers in Lagos is higher across different local governments.
How did Lagos evolve into the commercial capital of Nigeria over the decades?
Lagos became the commercial capital of Nigeria, not just over the years, but from the very beginning. Lagos used to be known as Lago de Kuranu, the city of waters, because more than half of Lagos is submerged in water. And we hear that the water will still claim a substantial part of Lagos over the next few decades. Right from the beginning, everybody was in Lagos. The politicians, the military men, they were all in Lagos. So Lagos was both commercial as well as political capital of Lagos. The other barracks where we had the head of state of the country was in Lagos, in Ikoyi, Obalende area. So all the institutions, the major schools, the universities, the banks, the oil companies, even the embassies, they were all in Lagos. So naturally, more than any other part of Nigeria, Lagos have to be the capital state. However, why has Lagos not lost that shine? Even when the political base of Nigeria, the seat of government, moved out of Lagos to Abuja? Because Lagos is still more sophisticated than other parts of Nigeria. Even the oil-rich states in Nigeria don't have the infrastructure that Lagos has. These infrastructures came because all of governance was here in Lagos at the beginning. So what Lagos is building upon, most other states are starting from scratch to be like Lagos. That's why Lagos remains the commercial nerve center. The biggest markets are here. The media is here. Everything else you see outside is like a branch of what is here in Lagos. All the international neighbors we have, their high commission offices, their embassies are in Lagos. Everywhere else is started as a branch. So because Abuja is now the political capital of Nigeria, it's not impossible that America, Britain, European countries will now spend much more making their Abuja offices the headquarter embassy or high commission because it's a seat of government. Otherwise, all of those activities being here in Lagos are still very much present, making Lagos the commercial nerve center. There's more money in Lagos than anywhere else in Nigeria, except for Abuja, of course. Thank you so much.
Lagos is more than a city. It is a living testament to Nigeria's history, resilience, and ambition. From Tafawa Balewa Square, where independence was declared, to the National Theatre, a beacon of cultural pride, its landmarks tell the story of a city in constant transformation. The old Supreme Court, Lagos Lighthouse, Old Secretariat, and Igai Dungoron reflect its colonial legacy, while Baptist Church, Idumota Clock Tower, and Tinubu Square in the 1940s captures its commercial and social evolution. The Old Carter Bridge, once a crucial link, and the racecourse where history was made, stand as a reminder of Lagos' past, just as the three white-capped chief statue and the Supreme Court of the Colony of Lagos symbolizes its governance and traditions. Despite modern challenges, Lagos remains a city of boundless energy where history and progress intertwine. As Olasupo Adekunle wrote, to understand Lagos is to understand Nigeria itself. Its story is still being written, one landmark and one generation at a time.